The Long Road by Wolfland. Chapter 7. Captivate. Pokemon Trainer's Handbook, page 10. After claiming his or her 8th badge, any champion hopeful trainers should travel to Evergrande City to undertake the final test of their Pokemon journey. In a world full of legends and mythos, only one thing has long since been considered the Pokemon world's best-kept secret: Victory Road. Sure, all trainers knew it stood as the last hurdle before they could challenge the master trainers of the Pokemon League, but no one knew what exactly Victory Road was. Any media coverage of the challenge was strictly forbidden, and trainers who conquered it stayed mum about their experiences, either because it was too stressful to recall, or because it was seen as a rite of passage, and any descriptions or accounts of their own trials might ruin the experience for future trainers. So, without any concrete descriptions, rumors constantly swirled about the League's penultimate challenge. Some speculated it was a vicious gauntlet of seemingly endless battles against the strongest trainers in the region. Others claimed to have heard it was a punishing obstacle course for both trainer and Pokemon alike. One tale even speculated it was actually a week-long exam full of written theory and unique battle scenarios. Steven had heard all these theories and more, and as he dismounted from Skarmory's back and walked to the badge check office at the southern end of Evergrande City, he still wasn't sure which rumors he was inclined to believe. But he felt he could believe the one thing that all rumors shared in common, reinforced by the emergency rescue beacon handed to him by the rangers manning their post at the office. Victory Road was a grueling test designed with one thing in mind: to whittle down the crop of hopefuls to only a handful of top trainers that were deemed worthy to take on the Elite Four for the title of League Champion. No matter the reason, for Steven, Victory Road remained shrouded in mystery until he and Skarmory passed through the cramped badge check office and out into the part of Evergrande City that few had ever set eyes on. As the view unfolded before him, he felt his knees go weak, and he found it necessary to place a hand on Skarmory's back for support. Steven had never considered himself a betting man, but right at that moment, he would have been willing to put money on the fact that tears of joy had never been shed on the entry side of Victory Road. But that's exactly what he felt like doing when he first set eyes on the League's final benchmark. In his wildest dreams, he never would have imagined the final obstacle in his way was a massive network of caves that bored their way through the very island of Evergrande itself. To any other person, this was a punishment of the worst degree. To him, it was a dream come true. Skarmory cocked its head to the side inquisitively at the laughter that burst from his trainer. And here I was so worried it would have been something awful! Clacking its beak, Skarmory gave its best disdainful look. Steven backpedaled with a nervous smile. It's not overconfidence, I promise. It's just that I'm probably a bit more excited than most when it comes to cave exploration. Although... Steven fidgeted with the cuffs of his jacket. Now I feel a bit silly wearing this, if we're gonna be spelunking and not battling. With a flip of its wings and a short screech, Skarmory blew a gust of air in Steven's direction, sending dirt and dust swirling. Coughing through the dust cloud, Steven shot a look at his Pokemon as he brushed off his sleeves. What? Now I don't have to worry about getting the suit dirty while we're in there? Thanks, Skarmory. His flying Pokemon eyed his attire with a satisfied caw before giving a nod towards its teammates at Steven's hip. I'm sure we'll have to battle at some point before we make it to the end. There are plenty of trainers within Victory Road who will be looking to test their skills. Skarmory ruffled its feathers as Steven's expression grew serious. There's a reason that only a fraction of trainers with 8 badges ever get to challenge the league. As much as I want this to be an enjoyable excursion, we can't forget the reason we're here. As he strode up to the entrance of Victory Road, he gave Skarmory one last rub of its crest before returning it to its ball. Placing it with the other 5 at his hip, he let his hand linger, a gesture noticed by his Pokémon, who rattled a reply that made him smile. "We're ready." It only took a moment for his eyes to adjust to the light of the cave's interior, but Steven didn't need long to realize what a monumental cave system this actually was. No matter what direction he looked, countless pathways snaked in and out of the bedrock, some climbing, some plummeting, but all of them quickly vanishing into the darkness that hung thick at the edges of the chamber. Steven frowned. Given the maze-like complexity of the cave, he had to wonder if the challenge of Victory Road wasn't in the trainer battles, or the sizable wild Golbat population that he saw flitting along the stalactites, but the capacity to navigate one's way through in an efficient enough manner to not fall victim to an exhausted team, or a depleted supply stock. Now the emergency beacon made much more sense. Silently, he thanked his odd habit of always carrying enough supplies to sustain an unplanned cave excursion. This was a big cave, but if he was smart, he should have little trouble in making his supplies last to the end. And if he was able to stick to the road less traveled, he could avoid having too many tedious battles, leaving his team fresh and capable all the way through to the other side of Evergrande. With his plan laid out in his mind, he drew out his Pokénav, flicking over to the note-taking feature, unwilling to leave his navigation up to chance. Sure, his sense of direction underground was better than most, but mapping as he went would ensure that the sheer size of this cave would be manageable as he moved forward. And move forward he did, as there was no sense in lingering around at the entrance, where there'd surely be the potential for a bottleneck of trainers and unnecessary battles. Left, right, or straight ahead, he mused aloud, not really expecting an answer in return. But when a startled human shout and a loud Pokémon cry issued from the pathway on the left, Steven grimaced and glanced towards the opening leading off to the right. "Well, it certainly sounds more peaceful this way," he muttered, and a slight movement at his hip told him his team was in agreement. "To the right we go."